Hello, everyone. This is Carlene. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Crafting with Class. Today, I want to share my third album with the Anna Griffin album making dies. I love this because I love making these smaller scrapbooks. And this one is to commemorate my first vacation in years. And it was my first trip to the Riviera Maya. So let's take a look. I am sharing the completed third album I've made with the Anna Griffin dies. So this is a memory book of my recent trip to Cancun, to the Riviera Maya. So here's what the cover looks like. This is a magnetic closure, so it does snap together, and that's what holds it together. So I did some embossing on the spine, and this is a Tim Holtz like compass rose, so it has that look of a traveler's like notebook kind of thing. It looks super cool. And then here's the back, and as you can see, it is pretty thick. There's no foam adhesive whatsoever in this book. It is thick because it's filled with photos. And so I do have some pull-up tags, and I'll show you that. So I just wanted to give you a walkthrough of the finished album. So as I mentioned, it does have a magnetic closure, and on the strap I put the date of my trip, which was in February of this year. And it was a solo trip to the Riviera Maya, and I had such a blast. So if you've never been on a solo trip, I think especially as a woman, I think you should definitely do it at least once in your life. It was an incredible experience. So let's go on to the book. So I did create another pocket on the inside cover, and I decorated it with some things from Hobby Lobby. So this was another little kit, that came with embellishments and papers and things like that from Hobby Lobby. I'll do a quick walkthrough. So you get stickers and embellishments in this little packet, and you get 12 by 12 scrapbook pages. They are 2 of each kind, and they are travel theme, a little bit distressed, and you got all this for only $3 because it was 50% off. So that was a steal, and it went perfectly with my book. And so I made a little booklet that I tucked in here. And so on the cover, I just made this on my computer. And this is just kind of like the itinerary, if you will, of where I went during my 10-day trip. So I did start off at Playa del Carmen, and then I went to Xcaret Park, then Isla Cozumel. I went on a tour of Tulum, Coba, a Mayan village, and a cenote, and then Chichen Itza, another cenote, and then Valladolid. And then I went to Isla Mujeres, and then the last few days relaxing in Cancun. So that was amazing. So I started off my little booklet with me on the plane, and because I wanted to remember the craziness years to come, hopefully, of masking and all those, COVID related things we had to do. This was a picture I took outside of the plane, and I am deathly afraid of flying. I'm very, very scared of flying. But when I'm up there, it's just so beautiful. It's just those beautiful puffy clouds. It's really incredible, but it's very, very frightening to me. So when I was in Cancun, I stayed at the Rio Palace Peninsula. So there it is. And then I stayed at the adults only section, the VIP, in room 2522, and it was amazing. The Rio Palace, I highly recommend. The food was incredible. The service was phenomenal. So I had a fantastic time. This is what the room looked like inside. And I'm a purple girl. Purple is my favorite color. So I was here for all the purple. So this was at Xcaret Park, and this was a chocolate workshop that they had there. And so I was the only one there, so I kind of got like a VIP private workshop, and it was all about the history of chocolate. And so that was Jesus who was explaining everything, and it was such an incredible experience. It was definitely one of my favorite things that I did on my trip. I won't go through all the pictures, but just a few. So this was the Alush restaurant in Playa del Carmen, and this was amazing because it's a restaurant that's under the ground in a cave. It's a whole cave system, and it's beautiful. It's incredible. You have to experience this at least once in your life, and the food was fantastic. And then, of course, my bucket list item, one of the things I wanted to do my whole life is to visit Chichen Itza. And so I can't even express in words how unbelievable it is to see the Temple of Kukulkan in person. So then each section of the pages is kind of a place of its own, or an experience of its own. And so this is the kind of cover page of my stay at Playa del Carmen. And so this lifts up, and then this is the hotel that I stayed at while I was in Playa del Carmen. And then when you go to Parque Fundadores, which is like the main place there, you see the Voladores de Papantla, which is a Mayan tradition there. And then, of course, you see the Portal Maya sculpture, which is beautiful. So this folds out to reveal more pictures, and then like that. And then on the next page was my trip to Xcaret Park, which was phenomenal. So just a few pictures of me. So again, the same kind of format. It lifts up and then out. So there. And then this is still Xcaret Park. So again, this lifts this way. So beautiful. And the lazy river and the mangroves, it was just incredible. So there's that. And then is my trip to Tulum, and there is the lighthouse that's famous for El Castillo. And some of these pictures, of course, are portrait, and some are landscape, but you can just turn the book. And on each part I stamped, so as you can see here. So this one says lift, so that's what you do there. And this one says turn, so just like that. And then the little arrow, just to tell the person looking at the album kind of what to do. And then these are my trip to Coba, and that was incredible as well. So there's me in front of Nohochmul, the pyramid there, and then the ball court. And then we went to the Mayan village and the cenote. And the cenotes were just incredible. And then my bucket list, a trip to Chichen Itza, and then the sacred cenote, the temple of the warriors, and then of course all the carvings, and of course the great ball court, which is the largest in Mesoamerica. And then we went to Valladolid on the same trip, and we visited the cenote Sucan, which was beautiful. I mean, if you can see, like, oh, these colors are incredible. And then that's the San Servicio Church in Valladolid, which is very well known. And everywhere you go in the city where you see exposed white brick, that means that the Spaniards, there was a Mayan structure there, and they basically knocked it down and used that same brick to build their own churches and own buildings, which is interesting history. And then this was for my trip to Cozumel Island. So I went snorkeling in Cozumel, which was awesome. And then same thing at Isla Mujeres. I did some snorkeling there and exploring the island. And to me, Isla Mujeres had the absolutely most beautiful water I have ever seen in my life. And that's a high praise, considering that Cozumel is there and Cancún is there. You have this beautiful Caribbean water, but something about Isla Mujeres, that water was just unbelievable. All right, so there is that. And then on the last page, I have another little booklet. I just had so many pictures that I wanted to get in there, so I'll just kind of flip through these really quick. more pictures from Chichen Itza. Oh, and look what I did here. Bam! And that's a pop-up of the player of Puck, the game the Mayans played. So I thought that was just a fun way to incorporate this picture that I wanted to include somehow. And then some more. And then, oh, this was cool because this was on the way back from Cancun, and I saw this round rainbow, if you can see it, from my seat. So basically this is the window of the airplane. And so I'm like, what is that? And so I took a picture of it, and then I Googled, like, is there such a thing as a round rainbow? And as it turns out, yes, and they're pretty rare to see. And the only way you can really see them, if you get a chance to, is from above, up above the clouds, like in a plane. So it was so awesome. It just kind of made the trip even more special to witness something that, you know, most people won't get to see. And I left this blank because I'm going to add a tag to journal some of my thoughts. And so again, this will close magnetically to hold it together. And then up here, I did some tags in the pages in between. And so again, I'm going to journal here, but then I just put some pictures of myself there. No makeup. So don't be frightened when you see them, because these are untouched, no makeup. And yeah, I'm not 25 anymore. So that's a little tag. So yeah. And then the last one, and this was me in the cenote. And being in a cenote is such a calming, such a serene experience. Is just no wonder it was such a sacred thing for the Mayas. So that is my book, my album of my trip to Cancun. And so I just really have enjoyed this album die from Anna Griffin. I love creating these little books like this, and even though it's not that little, it's a pretty big book, but being able to hold so many pictures in this kind of compact space is amazing. So to recap, these are the 3 albums that I've made so far. So this was the baby album that I'm going to give my friend's daughter probably next week. She's due next week. And then of course the book that I made for my sweet girl Madrid. And that one's super big because it has a lot of foam adhesive. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. I do have a walkthrough through these 2 books on my channel, so I will link them at the end. So what do you think of this die set? Do you love it as much as I do? Let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for stopping by. Until next time, bye.